Welcome to the Phoenix Solutions4all second video tutorial for pivot tables. This tutorial follows the pivot tables fundamentals tutorial. I'm just going to switch to my datasheet. I've already created a pivot table. So you'll notice the pivot table has the sales date, then broken down by the make, then obviously summarizing the data at day level and broken down into make. So the first thing we're going to do is just going to look at how to group the date to show. At the moment it's showing by day. I may now want to analyze it by quarter and by month. So I'm going to right click over the date in my pivot table and choose group. Months is highlighted, so I want to keep that highlighted and also select quarters by clicking. Then I'm going to click OK. Look at the way it's now changed the data. Quarter 1, January, February, March. Quarter 2, again, very easy, very intuitive. Now, because I've added 2 levels to the sales date, I have to scroll down quite a lot. So I may just want to see just the quarterly totals only. So I need to collapse the field. So if you right click over quarter 1 or come down to expand and collapse, and then collapse entire field, just to show my quarterly data only. If I then want to create a chart to show the quarterly data, on my Analyze tab of my pivot table tools, over on the right hand side in the tools group, I can just click on pivot chart. I can then choose whichever chart I wish, click OK, and it generates my pivot chart for me. Again, very easy. So we've now got the totals for each quarter. So quarter 1 is 1537844, so ending in 844. If the data were to change in my data set for a particular quarter, so let's change one of January's figures. So selling price will update to 40,000. So what I've done is I've made a change in my underlying data set. Now I need to go back to my pivot table, which is on the sheet to the left, click into my pivot table, back up to my Analyze tab, and I need to refresh the data source. Notice how that total has changed automatically. So any changes to the scope of the data source, you need to refresh the pivot table to then generate the latest information. Let's now turn on the Design tab. I'm going to put my grand totals on for columns only, actually maybe for rows as well. Let's do it for both. Okay, so what I'd like to do now, I'm going to add selling price a second time into my values. So I get sum of selling price 2. Notice how my chart keeps updating as my pivot table updates, because the chart is linked to the pivot table. So I'm just going to delete the chart temporarily. Now this second field, sum of selling price 2, what I would like to see in here is the percentage of each quarterly total as a percentage of the grand total for the whole year. So I will right click over one of those totals, come down to show values as, and then I will do percentage of grand total. Okay, notice how the values in the second column have now changed to percentages. I'm going to add selling price a third time. Again, I'm going to show the difference from the highest total, which is quarter 2. So right click, show values as, difference from. So my base field will be quarters, and my base item, because I want to compare to the highest quarterly sales. I'm going to choose Q2 or Q2 from my list and click OK. So now it's giving me each quarter and the difference in the selling price compared to Q2, which is the 5 million figure. To remove those fields, I'm just going to go down into the bottom corner of my field list, click on the middle one and just choose Remove Field. Do the same with the second one, Remove Field. Thank you for watching.